Hey there, welcome to my channel. I'm Daniel Norton, here with another installment of How Did I Light It? This is a fun one. This is actually from several years back. It's shot on film, and this was a spec job for a magazine called Vellum. It never got printed because the magazine went out of business before we got the stuff in, but this magazine had this, it was fashion basically, but it used a lot, it was almost like a fine art mix. So the idea was to shoot with fashion models and create stuff that had that vibe, but also kind of wasn't so much, hey, here's the clothes. So here I had a stylist who created this kind of fun outfit, mummy inspired maybe, I don't know. And we had this model come in and we shot it. This is really simple, actually. I used to do this a lot, and I don't think I've done it in recent years, but I used to have this big 5-foot octabox, and I would strip all of the diffusion out of it. And so basically you had this giant dish, if you will, with the bare bulb in the center. It created a soft light in a sense because the light obviously was bouncing around and feeling coming forward and large, but it also had a certain punchiness to it that created a little bit of a hot spot in certain areas. You got highlights that really popped, which I really loved. So effectively, that is over here. And this is our main light source coming in, right? And then as you see on the background, and you can probably get a hint of it by this, I'm actually using a light with barn doors on the back. So basically it's 2 Profoto heads. This is before I had the battery powered stuff. This is a pack. So it's a pack with 2 heads in it, or maybe I had 2 packs, I can't remember. One of them has a giant 5-foot octa. The other one is basically has a barn door on a standard reflector. And I'm shooting this, actually, this one I shot with 35mm, but I also used to work a lot with my RZ back in the day, but this actually is 35mm film. It is Ilford 125 speed. It was FP4, I think is what they used to call it. That was my favorite film to shoot with. So it's a pretty simple shot again, but it works, and it's got a certain power to it. You know, when you think about, a lot of times people ask me about posing and stuff. I think this is a good example of using a low angle, as you can see here, to create what we want, right? So I'm definitely lower than her. I'm looking up at her, but because of her expression and because of the way I lit it so we don't get a weird chin, you've got like a nice expression here, but it also uses the shape of her body to bring you in. So it's not like I'm just low and I'm trying to make her legs look big, which is what a lot of people do, like, or tall, I should say, take a shorter model and do that. We're actually creating shape up to the face, which draws you in, which is the eyes. And now I've put a whole bunch of marks all over this image, but you get the point. The idea being is that if you're going to use a low angle, make sure that you've got a reason for it and make sure it's dynamic and it actually brings the viewer into the scene. I'd love to know what you think. How would you light something like this? Have you ever used a giant box like that with no diffusion? I'd be curious. Let me know in the comments below. Also, check out the description. You'll find a link to my Discord server if you want to join the conversation over there, and also my Patreon if you'd like to support the channel. You can also support the channel by liking the video and subscribing, so go ahead and do that, and I'll talk to you soon.